Super Belle Sews. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me for day 24 of Vlogmas. It's the last day. I can't believe it. It's sort of flown by, but also sort of feels like I've been doing these daily videos forever. So today, as I sort of mentioned yesterday, I haven't been doing any sewing in the last 24 hours. I've been doing sort of Christmassy things. I don't have my sewing machine. So I thought I would go back over some of the things I've sort of decided over the past month and also go through some of my makes. So I had a look back and I've actually made a lot this month. I've been much more productive than normal, which is weird considering how busy everything else has been. But I think that's partly, oh, hello, we might have a little Nala new, oh, yes, you just get a little bit of Nala, hello. Perfect. Yeah, I think it's partly because I've been doing these videos every day. It sort of focused my mind a little bit, so that's been great. So I thought I'll just go over. So first up was the Sagebrush top, which I'll pick a picture of here. The other thing I was going to say actually about Vlogmas was, and about the items that I've made, is almost all of them were the first time I tried that pattern. So there were lots of new patterns this month, and also the first time I used stretch velvet, so that was new for me as well. So yeah, lots of firsts. So the Sagebrush was one of my firsts of the month, as it were. I made it using this lovely sort of winterberry cotton from Jenny Stitches, and I think I'd said before I was a little unsure about the Sagebrush to start off with, just because it's sort of frilly in the puffy sleeves, and the way the seam sort of sits here rather than at the waist was something I questioned. I ended up actually loving it though. The one thing I'll do differently probably, so I did make it according to my measurements. I think I could probably do the full bust adjustment, only because there are these sort of gathers here, just underneath where the ruffle is at the centre. And I find that they're always sort of pulling open, so I can sort of position them in the right place when I put it on, but once I've moved around, the gathers are sort of pulling apart, and I end up with this sort of line across the bust here where the fabric is pulling. So I think doing an FBA, I don't want to mess around too much with the other sizing because I like how it fits, but I think an FBA would yeah, hopefully correct that. So I'm definitely going to make more Sagebrushes in my future. So yeah, so that was successful. We went on then to the Adrian Blouse, and I've got those here actually. So I made two versions, both in stretch velvet. So as I said, I hadn't actually worked in stretch velvet before. I was a little bit scared of velvet. Everyone says it makes a mess, and obviously you've got to be really careful of the nap. But actually I think stretch velvet is a little easier than like normal velvet. So here is my top, very Christmassy. Might wear it for Boxing Day. Got a nice little skirt to wear that with, and the sleeves I think just look banging. I feel a little bit like it's something that like a lady vampire might wear, like a glam lady vampire. So I feel like that's fine. So yeah, so that's my first one, and again, really quick sew. I love that, and I do feel like that's something you could sort of wear all year round, so I'll definitely be sewing up loads more of those. And then we have the dress. Now I haven't photographed the dress yet. There have been some pictures floating around, and I think if you were eagle-eyed in one of my videos that I added on to the end of a clip, you may have spotted a little something. But here's my lovely blue dress. So this is an elongated version of the Adrian Blouse, and it sort of worked. I think, like, I love how the dress looked, and I love the fabric. The colour I think is gorgeous, and it just gives it a little something extra. I think with the because of the velvet, it's like where it hits different curves of your body, it like hits the light differently, so I think it gives it really cool dimensions. But the weight of the skirt, I felt like really dragged it down. So I took quite a bit off the length of the bodice to counter that, but I think I could have taken more. So the waistline sits a bit lower than I would like it to. And that's partly as well because there's so much weight on the elastic at the shoulder that sort of drags down as well. So there was, yeah, I think I maybe will replace the elastic for something a bit more hardy, perhaps. And I'll just be mindful of that, I think, moving forward if I make another dress version, just to sort of be mindful of the weight. I knew it would make a difference, and obviously it will partly depend on sort of the weight and the stretch in whichever fabric you use, so it's always going to be a little bit different. But that did make a big difference, and also then because of the weight of the skirt, it's sort of not quite so close fitting as the top version is. So it's all useful stuff to know. I love how the dress turned out, and I'll definitely wear it for things, but there are adjustments to be made, I think. So that's that. Then we have my Vivienne coat. Now I can pop some pictures of that, the finished version, up here. I forced Nate to have a photo shoot in the garden today. So I'm really proud of this one. I think I'm not going to talk about it too much because I think I'll do a separate vlog in the new year, possibly after Christmas, I don't know, about this one, but I am really proud of it. You've been on a journey with me, yeah, so there have been challenges, but yeah, I feel like I've ended up with a really beautiful coat, and something that I personally don't think I'd be able to buy. So you can get coats like this in the shops, but often it's shops that don't cater to plus size people, so it's like I've always found it really difficult to find. I've had my eye open. This coat is maybe a bit more pinky in colour, which I actually like, but I've sort of had this thing in my head of wanting like a really good red winter coat for ages, and I've just never found anything that's quite as special as what I had in mind. And whereas this coat feels really like a special coat, and it was hard work, but I think it's worth the hard work. So yeah, I'm really proud of that one. So I'm also relieved it's finished, don't get me wrong, like I'm so glad it's done so that I don't have to think about it anymore. But that was a very, very proud make, and definitely the most challenging thing I've made. So yeah, so that was great. And then we have my Christmas pajamas, which you've already seen, but I've got them here anyway. So we have my top. So this wasn't a new pattern. So far, the Adrian Blouse, the Sagebrush, the Vivienne, all new patterns to me. This I made not that long ago, like in November, I think, or October, I made a base layer. So this was not a new pattern. Again, it's the Stanway tee from the Head of the Curve book. Really easy, quick sew, nice fit. Not much to worry about there. And then another first for me, the Hudson pants. So you can see these a bit better now. I'm holding them up. I put in this nice little pocket detail in ribbing. We've got the elasticated waist with the tie. We've got the little cuffing. I wore these last night. I will be wearing them tonight. I haven't photographed them yet. I might have a go at photographing them this evening, but the light is now not great, so I might save it till tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really pleased with those as well. And obviously, like, Christmas is almost done, but I will probably wear them for a little while, and then I'll put them away. I can bring them out next Christmas. So that's really exciting. On top of that, I obviously had some gifts as well. My mum came to me today, and even though in the video, so she's been watching my videos, but she's quite behind. So in the video where I shared her gift, I say at the beginning, "Mum, if you're watching this, switch off." And I told her, I said in one of my videos I show the gift, but I say at the beginning that's what I'm going to do. And she told me today that she's been so scared that she'll accidentally see it, that she's just been too scared to watch any more. So she's going to binge watch them all tomorrow after I have finished giving her the gift. So which is quite funny, really. So yes, so I don't think she'll watch this before tomorrow, to be honest. So Mum, if you are watching this and it's before Christmas, stop now. Okay, I've warned her. Right, so that was the green stretch velvet pearl cardigan. I will try and get a picture of that. I'll probably do a post-Christmas vlog, talk about if I got any little sewing gifts, and showing some of the gifts that I got other people. So I'll try and get a picture of my mum in it. We had fun last year with her modelling her gifts in the garden. So and then I made some gifts for my godchildren and my nephew. So, and I stupidly forgot to take pictures of those before I gifted them. So if I am able to get any pictures, I will share them, but you've already seen them in the videos. You know what they look like. So yes, that's all the stuff I've sewn up this month, which seems like quite a lot. Obviously, after Christmas, my focus is on getting my Jenny Stitches project made, and I also have the toaster sweater for Minerva. I'm on top of my Minerva makes because I had the coat was one of them, Vivienne was one, and the blue velvet dress. That was another one. So I'm back on top of it now. I was behind for a bit, but I'm on it. But yeah, Jenny Stitches is the next one. I'm feeling a bit lost without my sewing machine, actually, weirdly. Even though I probably wouldn't have been sewing since I got here, but I just see things on Instagram or YouTube and I think, oh, I want to go and make that, and then I can't. So yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a very addictive hobby. So yeah, and then there was something else I was going to share, which was, oh, it was about, so I've spoken a little bit through the last month about two things. So one was advent calendars and the other was subscription boxes. Now, regarding the advent calendars, I haven't actually felt the FOMO, which surprised me because I felt it very strongly last year and ended up buying the Kylie the Machine calendar. I've enjoyed watching people unboxing every day. I thought the one I would get the most FOMO for would be Fabric Godmother, and there is some really nice stuff in their calendar. But I don't know, it was all very, so I loved the Day 24 gift, which was like a Tatty Divine sewing machine necklace. I thought that was really beautiful. And there's some cute buttons and bits and bobs in there, but it was all it was all very like classic taste, which I think for some people is perfect, but I sort of like things that are a bit like bright and quirky and like a bit off kilter. So yeah, I don't know. I think if a lot of the stuff, I know they did have a lot of exclusives, but I think if I like most of the stuff, I feel like, oh, I can maybe get that myself if I really wanted it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get one next year. I don't know. If I can put the money aside, I might try one of them out next year, because I've not actually had, apart from the Kylie Machine, I've not had a sewing advent calendar. But there was another one I actually really liked the looks of. The Beyond the Pig Door one looked nice, but also there was one that was, I think it was So Much More or something, which looked really good as well. So it's interesting. I'm just gonna think about it. But I didn't really feel like I missed out, so maybe it's just silly to think that it needs to go on. I don't know. We'll see next year. The other thing, yeah, the subscription box. So I've been umming and ahhing for a while. I've sort of thought I might enjoy trying a subscription box. But the concern obviously is, like, I watch these unboxings and sometimes I think, oh, that's really nice, and other times I think like, oh, I don't really love that. And I just sort of thought, do I want to commit money every month if I'm not sure I'm going to like it? But I found a solution. So I actually signed up yesterday to a Little Miss So-and-so subscription box. And the reason this is so good is there's an option where you just get a surprise every month, or there's an option where you get to pick from a selection of things. So someone recommended it to me under one of my videos, but they couldn't remember what the company was called, but I managed to track it down. So what they do is each month they send you can choose between two patterns, so a knit pattern and a woven pattern. So you might hear Nate chopping in the background because he's only next door, because I wanted to be by the Christmas tree. So you choose between a knit pattern or a woven pattern, and then they have a selection of fabrics and you pick which one you want. So I thought that's quite a good compromise, because you can't choose like from anything on the website, so it limits you a bit, focuses your mind a bit, you know. Potentially, I think I watched a few people's unboxings and it's like sometimes the patterns are quite unusual, like, yeah. So, and I think it also minimizes the chance of you getting a pattern that you already own, or getting a fabric that you already have wrong or are unlikely to use. So yeah, so I'll be including how I get on with those on the vlog through the year. So that's it for me today. The main thing I want to say is thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in and joined me for my first ever Vlogmas. You know, I've only been doing the vlog for a couple of months, so this is all very new, and it's been a challenge to do the video every day, but I'm really glad I've done it. I've learned loads, and I've been able to get to know some of you a bit and chat a little bit with people, which has been really, really lovely. So thank you for joining me on the way while I witter on, and for all of your lovely comments and feedback, and hopefully I will see you in some of my future vlogs as well. If you're watching and you've enjoyed this and you think you might enjoy some slightly less regular videos, but good videos, but just like not every day, please like and subscribe. I will obviously not be posting videos daily from now on. I am also over on Instagram, at Superbales is my handle on Instagram, and I post, obviously I'll post more regularly there than I do here, but I'm hoping to get into a nice flow of videos into the new year. So thanks again for tuning in, and I want to wish you a really, really Merry Christmas and say thanks for the support. All right, lots of love.